Hello and welcome to In Case You Missed It. So now it's the Republican Party's turn to be going after American companies for the high cost of inflation. A couple years ago, when Democrats were grappling with sky high inflation, Donald Trump said their plans to fight price gouging by American companies was tantamount to communism. But now that it's the Republican Party in the affordability hot seat, Trump cabinet members, other elected officials have been calling more and more CEOs to Capitol Hill for talks about more regulations into antitrust suits and to how they're doing business. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. saying in a House and Ways Committee meeting that they are making money hand over fist. This is not new news. But you can definitely count on seeing some antitrust legislation come up in the very near future. Interesting to see longtime allies in the industry turn into the scapegoat. And we have some stability coming to the CDC with the nomination of former Deputy Surgeon General Erica Schwartz, who, compared to prior nominees and acting directors, this Navy officer and retired Rear Admiral is highly qualified and uncontroversial. She'd be stepping into an agency that has been without a permanent director for more than 29 days. So basically, a completely leaderless organization. So, as you can tell with this particular nomination, this is someone that this administration has seen. We need some stability at the CDC, and this is someone that should float right through the nomination process. A union representing the University of California has announced an open-ended system-wide strike to begin on May 14th. This would be the first such strike in the history of the UC health system. There's about 42,000 workers across the university. These are service workers such as custodians, security personnel, also patient care professionals like medical assistants, MRI techs, respiratory therapists. These folks have been working without a contract since 2024. The UC system, of course, categorically denies any wrongdoing, that they've not been negotiating in good faith, and has offered up examples of 32% and 33% increases to pay as an example. So we are going to get this thing kicked off. And so for those of you in the UC system, look for some delays, maybe try to squeeze in some treatment before May 14th, because it might be hard for a couple of weeks. The ACA exchanges, aka Obamacare, aka the marketplace, saw 14% of enrollees not pay their premium in January. This is something that they expect to continue. As much as a 26% reduction in enrollment across all exchanges over the course of this tax year, being blamed on higher prices, but also lower subsidies. So when this happens, we are going to be expecting to see a smaller group of people insured, and those people are going to be less healthy. What happens when prices go up and people decide not to pay is your more healthy people decide it's not worth it, leaving other people that are using their health insurance a lot, not as healthy people. These are the people that pay no matter what. This leads to what we call in the business the death spiral, where you continue to have people dropping the coverage. And those people are going to always be your healthier people that can afford to go without insurance, where your less healthy people can't afford to not go through an insurance. And there is never enough premium to offset bad risks such as this. So bad news for the exchanges. Let's see what happens there. And finally, we have the FDA to weigh lifting restrictions on some MAHA favored peptides. So Robert F. Kennedy has long talked about ending the war at the FDA over peptides and other supplements. So just for those who aren't familiar, peptides are a chain of amino acids produced naturally in the human body. Some have been widely studied and very successful, like GLP-1s. That's a peptide. Others are a little bit newer. They're for anti-aging, muscle building, quick injury recovery, and they have been out there without a lot of research behind these claims. The idea of making them legal or approved through the FDA would eliminate the gray market, they call it, which is where a lot of people are getting these and is not quite as safe. Thanks for stopping by. See you next week.